The global online gambling market is anticipated to be worth more than $92.9 billion by 2023. The current size of the market is anticipated to stand at $59 billion, meaning the size of the market is scheduled to double within the coming years, making the safety and security of activity in this space of paramount importance. Šimon Vincze is on a mission to change gambling for the better. He leads and manages CasinoGuru's long-term projects predominantly relating to responsible gambling, with the mission of trying to make online gambling safe and fun for everyone. He currently focuses on the Global Self-Exclusion initiative, which aims to create a tool which restricts vulnerable players and their access to gambling on a global level, in addition to the CasinoGuru's Academy, which aims to better educate online casino customer service representatives so that they can assist gamblers effectively and more responsibly. He joined me this week to have a conversation about effective gambling, CasinoGuru, and so much more. I'm Kevin McShane. Let's have this conversation. So Simon, if you're ready, I'll take a moment to welcome you to the program. And I'm super excited to be with you this morning to talk about responsible gambling. Great to see you, and thank you for being here, buddy.
Thanks for inviting me, Kevin. It's a great pleasure to be here with you and to talk more about my work and to have some conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you work extensively and with CasinoGuru to promote responsible gambling, buddy, and trying to make it safer for everyone. So I'm wondering if you can tell me all about the good work that you do.
Yeah, sure. That would be great. So, CasinoGuru, right? We are foremost a online casinos database. I think the currently biggest one in the world. We have like more than 4,000 entries in our database, and basically trying to make gambling a better place is the overall goal of CasinoGuru, and we are trying to achieve it by several things. So, I mean, at the beginning, I think it's important to say that we are trying to do that by providing players with reliable information so that they are able to make informative choices. And we do that by creating a reputation of every online casino we have in our database. And this reputation is the combination of several factors. And one of the most important is the terms and conditions of the online casino, because sometimes there could be rules and some terms which could be disadvantages for players. So we are trying to reflect this in our reputation. Then we are also calculating the estimated revenue of online casinos. So we want to reflect the probability that the casino will be able to pay out winnings. And also there are complaints by players, and we are trying to collect these complaints from over the internet and also from our in-house complaints resolution center, and we are reflecting the results of these complaints into the reputation as well. So if we will find that there are a lot of player complaints on some online casino, and we will see that those casinos are acting unfairly with those players, we will reflect it over there. And the way how we are looking on those terms and also on the dispute is, I mean, disputes in these complaints is the fair and moral principle. This is our sort of code of conduct, and we have translated this in a document which is called the Fair Gambling Codex, which serves sort of as a mantra for our decision making in these matters. Also, on the top of that, we have a big section of RG responsible gambling articles where players can read more about the difficulties with addictions, what to do when you spot that your gambling is not fun for you anymore. And we are trying to make support for players in this way. And also we are building a community on our website. We are operating one of the biggest forums in online gambling. And what is interesting about the forum is that it's made in a way that the language barriers are, I mean, disappeared over there, as the content is being automatically translated to your domestic language. I mean, our website operates in 17 languages. So when you speak German, you will enter the forum and you will see every post in German. You can switch to the original text, or you can switch to English. But if you wish, you can read and write everything in German, and it will be translated for other users as well. So these are the sort of main pillars and main areas in which we are operating. And by doing work on each of these areas, we are trying to make gambling a little better place every day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you're currently focused on the Global Self-Exclusion Initiative, which aims to create a tool that will help gamblers or vulnerable players restrict their access to gambling and try to make it a better place for customer service representatives to assist online gamblers. So I'm wondering if you can tell me about the Self-Exclusion Initiative and your work with the initiative and what you're trying to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the Global Self-Exclusion Initiative is one of the collaborative projects with which we are trying to work together with the rest of the industry to make something better, to improve some areas. And this specific project is the most ambitious one. And the goal is naturally to create a global self-exclusion scheme, which will be covering, essentially all online gambling opportunities out there on the internet. The main reason why we are doing this is because we see that the current self-exclusion options are not reliable. They are easily to be circumvented. So even though when you exclude on some of the available levels or opportunities currently, you are still able to easily find other gambling operator or other place when you can continue gambling. And how we see to create this initiative is not by the regulatory compliance, because most probably there will be no global authority which will be enforcing it, but we rather want to show the whole industry the benefits of creating such initiative, and we want to work it out as a new industry standard. I wish, or how we envision it, is to make it by self-regulation when industry is adopting best practices and golden standards to show that there is no need for them to be regulated. So I believe that if we will create a reliable scheme which will be able to reduce gambling harm, then we might be able to show the industry that this is the path which should be followed, and this is the way towards more sustainable and more safer gambling environment. Yeah, where we are currently is that we are finishing our first official documentation of the system which we envisioned, which we intend to create. And it includes the details of technical implementation, our proposed functional details, and also it is pointing out on some issues which naturally will arise by creating such a system. And we are also providing our proposed solution for this. So I believe that this will help us to get to much more specific conversations about possible partnering, about possible cooperation, and moving the initiative and the global self-exclusion system one step further its creation.
Yeah, and with all the work that you're doing in this regard, Simon, I'm wondering your thoughts on it more broadly. How do you think we can all work together to make online gambling safer? What are some steps that we can do in the public to make sure that we're having a safe but still enjoyable online gambling experience?
Mm-hmm. I think the answer to this question lies basically in social responsibility, to focus on doing business with regards to your customers, with regards to your players, and with regards to the risks that they could appear in. It is a difficult thing to do because you are dealing with the environment, I mean, with the activity that can be highly addictive. But if you will take a proactive approach as an operator, a regulator, or even an affiliate company, and you will try to do your best to reduce the harm from gambling, then I think that we will be able to move towards a better environment, a more sustainable environment for gambling. Because at the end of the day, online gambling is a form of an entertainment, which is for the majority of people without any significant troubles, but there is still a risk associated with it. It is present at all times, even for people who have gambled for years. Could come a period of time in which it will transform into something much more problematic. And also there is this percentage of people for which the gambling is really troubling issue. So if we will take our eyes off, or we will move our focus from the profit a little bit towards making this activity more sustainable, I think that we will be able to gain benefits from it in the long run, and not just the companies who are making profit from it, but also for the players.
Yeah, 100%. I'm wondering your thoughts also on being responsible in the sense of allowing people to still get the benefits from gambling, but also knowing if they have sort of a problem or an addiction to gambling. How do you manage that from an ethical perspective? I'm curious what your opinion is on how we balance the two.
Mm-hmm. I think that it's not a really easy and straightforward question for this, because still, like I've said, I mean, there are some people for which gambling is just a activity that they are unable to do because they might be highly addictive for such activities, and thus it will be enable for them to proceed with it. And I think that important part in this is to be able to realize this, is to be able to find out what is exactly happening when you are gambling on, or when you are having fun with activities associated to it. And I think that education is very important in this. For example, there is a still, I mean, I think it applies for the majority of people who are gambling with online casino games, is that they think that slot machines or even the other casino games have been designed in a way to screw you up, in a way that when you are, I mean, playing there for the first time, it will give you more winnings. And then when you play there for some times, it will start to reduce those winnings. And for all the certified games, this is not the way how it works. I mean, there is a certain, it's called house edge. That is a certain percentage of funds which are invested into the game, which is coming back to the company operating the games. And all the results that you see on those slot machines are just the result of random combinations. I mean, these games are being designed that there is this small percentage which on a long run is coming to the casino at the end of the day. But thinking that those games are designed to screw you over every time is something that can lead to significant misuse or misunderstanding of the gambling industry.
Yeah, and to that point, Simon, the increase in popularity when it comes to sports gambling has certainly intensified the interest in online gambling. So, in that respect, how do you think the increased popularity of sports gambling online has affected a safe and responsible gambling?
Mm-hmm. I think that you are asking this also because there is being, I mean, many states in America and in the United States is regulating online betting and bets on sports, and I think that it influences it in a way that the regulated market is being opened finally, because even before, people living in the States were able to place bets on the sports that they see on television or regularly follow, but on the sort of offshore providers, unlicensed providers, operators of I mean, bookmakers which are operating from offshore, not from United States, and accepting players from those regions. So I think that this is heading towards more responsible or more reliable environment, because these opportunities will be regulated by the state, and it is able to set its own rules, and it is able to protect those players. So I think that in the matter of this, it's heading to the right direction. It's also important to say that online casino games are most probably be followed in this and will be regulated in some states very soon. I think that for some particular states it's already being discussed, and this is the area which is considered by researchers and psychologists to be much more risky and much more addictive compared with sports betting. So I think the operators should be aware of it and should be vigilant about their sort of responsibility and their duty in reduction the gambling harm from this.
Yes, Simon, and as we move forward, I'm curious to get your definition of how do you redefine responsible gambling over the next 5 to 10 years? What do you think that looks like? I'm curious.
I think that it will gain more significance. That it will. I think that it will become even more important than it is today. I think there has been, I mean, like, there has been a great surge in responsible gambling requirements and standards in the past 2 or 3 years, and I think that it will increase, because it's one of the main pillars how to make this industry sustainable and how to make it profitable in the long run. Because in the past there has been many operators which started doing business in online gambling with the vision of quick and easy profit, without doing things responsibly towards the players. And I think that this period is slowly getting to the past, and we will see more and more companies taking proactive steps in this matter, and showing that they are here to care about their players and to do their best to reduce this gambling harm. And it is not something that can be done overnight. I think that it will take several years, and it will require all of the industry to get a bit more mature in this area, to sort of grown up. The sentence.
Yeah, I'm just curious on how you hope that the work that you do with Casino Guru will help address this issue on a long-term basis. I know we talked earlier about the good work that you're trying to do now, but how do you hope that it expands in the future?
I hope that it will expand in a way that we will be able to influence the rest of the market by our vision and also our actions. And this applies especially for the Global Self-Exclusion project, because it's not something that we are able to do on our own. It requires a collaborative action. It requires other companies to willingly get on board and do their part in this. As, like I said before, most probably it will never be made as a regulatory requirement, as we are talking about something which is going beyond national borders, as national states and their jurisdictions are being regulated. So yes, I mean, I hope that we will be able to do it, that we will be able to show the benefits, and we will be able to make the collaborative profit and benefit from it. And not just for us, for the players mainly, but at the end of the day, for the whole industry. As well. So these are my hopes. I'm positive about it. I think that majority of the industry is going to the right direction, towards a direction of greater social responsibility, and I hope that we could be ones who will contribute to it. So I'm positive about it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about social responsibilities. You piqued my interest to ask this question. How, as an industry, do you think the industry can better ethically weigh the pursuit of profits versus being responsible and promoting safe gambling? I'm curious, how do you weigh the two between profits and being ethical as well?
Hmm. You mean, you mean how we can achieve it ethically in this way?
Yeah, essentially between uh, valuing profits, but also doing it from an ethical perspective.
Hmm. I think that it needs to be met somewhere in the middle, because you can make a ethical profit, and there is a even greater, or there should be even greater significance to this narrative in gambling, because I think that historically every operator has at some point faced a question like, are we going to take this money from the person who is objectively losing more than they can afford, or do we return it back because there could be some problem with the person? You know, I still meet with some opinions that people should be responsible for their own spendings. I mean, in a way, they are adult persons, and if they wish to invest a specific amount of money into gambling, then it should be allowed, and there should be anything bad about it. And I think that this is really a self-destructing approach, especially in these days, because regardless of how the industry have progressed, with all the factual information that people are becoming addictive and doing things which are going away from the rational thinking, this is not a good thing to do. I mean, this is objectively doing something bad. So I think that like I said before, the companies are going away. The majority of companies are going away from this perspective, and I am convinced that online gambling can be made ethically and still profitable, especially for the long run.
Yeah, and Simon, I'm curious, when you look at your own professional and personal legacy in the space of online gambling, how do you want that to be defined overall?
Interesting question. I mean, to be honest, I do not have like a specific vision about myself or about the projects that I'm working on. I mean, in a way that they should be carved in a stone at someday and leave a big significant I mean, trade after it. What I have, or what I'm trying to have, is a purpose with which I am working on the projects, and trying to be better at this every day. And if we will, or if I will achieve with those one day, then I would be happy that if it will bring benefit for all the people online gambling, and if it will end up in some kind of a legacy, then I will be happy about it. But this is not the main reason why I'm doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Simon, tell me, finally, if people want to get connected with CasinoGuru or yourself personally, what's the best way they can do that?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn under a name Šimon Vincze. And you can also send me an email. It's simon.v@casino.guru. Also, if you will just type CasinoGuru in Google, you will surely find our website. And among the information about the company, you will find contact information of my colleagues as well. So I think this is the best way to do it. You will be also able to find out more about what we do. And I think that's it, basically. We also are active on social media. So if you will just look for CasinoGuru, you will be able to find us.
Fantastic. Well, Simon, I really enjoyed our perspective and conversation about online gambling and responsible gambling. I want to thank you for your work in the space and for joining me today. It's most appreciated.
Thank you, Kevin. It was a pleasure. Great to be here.